Good morning and welcome to the Financial Optimist. And today I'm asking the question, what does it truly mean to live within your means? Let's dive right into it. So for me, the number one factor is your overall savings rate. What percentage of your paycheck is going towards your savings and investments? Because that ultimately is the single biggest determining factor of how wealthy you will be when you eventually reach retirement. Now, this chart here shows the historical average savings rate in the US. In the past, it's been, 10 something percent here and there. It's gradually gone down over the years. Now we're currently at 4.6% for the month of August 2025. That is the average savings rate, meaning the average American only saves 4.6% of their paycheck. Now, we did see back here during COVID, it did briefly get all the way up to 33.8% because, of course, the pandemic was happening, a lot of uncertainty, people didn't know about the futures, and so they cut everything out that didn't need to be there, and on average, Americans were saving 1/3 of their entire paycheck that month. So it goes to show it is possible to increase your savings rate substantially if you truly wanted to, if there was an emergency. But with that said, if you have, say, an average 4.6% savings rate, does that actually mean that you're living within your means? I would say not really, because it's very common for there to be all kinds of emergencies and whatnot. As life happens, average car repair bills are $800, that kind of thing. So if you're barely I'm saving around 5% of your paycheck, at that point what's happening is when an emergency comes, you're just going to spend everything, so you're not really saving much. That's why I like to say, in order to be saying you're living within your means, you should be saving around 20% of your paycheck. If you're saving less than 20% of your paycheck, you're living above your means. If you're saving more than 20% of your paycheck, you're living below your means. If you're saving at 20%, that right there is when you're truly living at your means, meaning you have enough to afford a comfortable life, but you also are putting a fairly significant amount of your paycheck towards savings and investments, enabling you to retire as a millionaire. So to help with this, I have here a calculator which shows if you say started a savings account or any investment account, and you put $1,000 down and $100 every month, you earned 8% rate of return every year over 30 years, you have $150,000. Okay, that's something, but that's about triple the average American income. Most Americans are only making about $50,000 per year, give or take. So with that said, let's say we up it to $200 per month. Well, now we have right about $300,000. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And mind you, if you're an average American making, $50,000 a year, that would be roughly $10,000 per year as a 20% savings rate. That's approximately $800 per month. So if you're an average American and you have a 20% savings rate, $800 per month, over 30 years, earning an average 8% at whatever investment you choose, that gets you just over $1 million. So with that said, this is why I say 20% savings rate means you're truly living within your means, because it actually means you will become a millionaire within a reasonable amount of time. You start investing in your 20s, by the time you get to your 50s, you're a millionaire and you're looking into retiring earlier. So, with that said, if you want to retire earlier in your 50s, a 20% savings rate will do that. If you're looking to retire a little later, maybe in your 60s, you could go by on a lower savings rate, but now you have to work for many years longer. But let's say you want to retire, earlier, maybe in your 40s, or perhaps having a 30 or even 40% savings rate will help you to retire all those years ahead of schedule. So with that said, your savings rate basically is the single biggest determining factor in how wealthy you end up being. Yes, having a rate of return does help. Let's say we go from, 8% down to 7%. Okay, we lost, a bit of money there. That definitely, was an important factor. But ultimately, if you go back to the 8%, and then let's say you go down to even just $100 less per month, you see how $100 per month was almost the exact same as 1% rate of return in terms of how much impact it has over the course of 30 years. So with that said, you have to really think, okay, what can I do to get my savings rate up? And if you're someone that doesn't make a lot of money, you can always look at increasing your income. But it is possible to become a millionaire at any income level as long as your savings rate is high enough. So with that said, if you have any questions, go drop below in the comment section. I'll love to answer it. Otherwise, have a great day and I'll see you next time.